All right. What's up, everybody? Steven here, the horror freak 85, with this stranger over here. How's it going tonight?
Hey, yeah,
Again.
right.
So,
Echo,
weren't you just
echo, zero.
Wow, you changed. Or no, it's have cheetah will view.
Yeah, but since Echo's not here, we got to do that in honor of Echo.
Oh, wait, don't forget the cha. Yeah, baby.
He should do it. He should do what Dave Bautista does, like Echo, then go like this, zero. We're lunch meet next weekend, right?
Yeah.
When he comes back next weekend, we're going to hear all about this. That's
Yeah.
not how it goes, gentlemen. It goes like this, and then it'll be.
Yep, that's how it goes. But yeah, so unfortunately, Angel Bradfield or Bradfield, oh, I could talk Bradford.
Oh, I know, right? I've been crushing her name all week too.
Well, you've been saying something else. I think
I've been
it's
calling her Amy. I think I called her Amy.
Amy
like,
or
Amy?
yeah.
Is it Abigail? Is it Amy? What is it? What is it?
It's Angel. But anyway, Angel Bradford is feeling under the weather, so we're just going to reschedule. She felt really bad. She thought she would be able to come on Friday, but then it just hit her. Or I mean, Saturday, a couple days ago, she thought she could make it, but she just woke up worse, and so all the best to her. Hopefully, she feels.
The rumor has it, according to what I read on Deadline, or was it Hollywood Reporter, that what Angel did was she woke up, she did pre-production, she did a storyboard, she cast the movie, she got financing, she shot the movie, she edited, she did the score, she did the publicity, and now she's supposed to come here and do the show, and this is all in one day.
Yeah.
So I think I can understand why she's not feeling too good.
Yeah. I saw also, which I heard this a while back ago, but her and Jessa Flux, they're going to be in Death Bike, so she's got another thing she's working on. So she's just busy all over.
Yeah, the indie scene is just third degree burns right now. It's really hot right now. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like I'm hoping to be that busy. Hopefully, get a few soon. So yeah, but yeah, it's crazy though. So everybody,
I do got something good to say. I'm so happy I can announce it here on the House of Horrors. But it looks like my ass got unfrozen. So I'm actually able to add some new subscribers now. I'm no longer stuck at 1303 like I have been for the last month.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, weren't you having some issues or something with it, or
miserable? Frozen is terrible.
Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah. I got tangled up.
Yeah. That YouTube is a beast, I swear.
Welcome to Disney, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, tonight's Disney. We should
House of the Mouse.
House of the Mouse. Yeah, we should get Katie in if we're talking Disney.
Oh, I know. If they say if you say Disney 3 times, Katie will appear.
It's like watch her be in the chat. It's like Disney. Oh, hey, how's it
going? Disney. I have yet to hear anything more about the Mickey Mouse movie, which I think is a good thing, right?
Well, it's the Steamboat one because it's not Mickey Mouse. It's that one cartoon that. So what was it? Steamboat? Is it Willie or something like that? Or I don't know. I'm thinking that or something.
I'm personally thinking now that I'm sitting here and I put my thinking cap on, my Corollas cap on.
Sideways hat guy.
Yeah, that's right. I got my Sharkenstein hat on right here. James Corollas, shout out. But I'm thinking for that Steamboat Willie movie, man, why the hell would you not want to cast Tim Hatch as Steamboat Willie? Tim Hatch would be perfect for Willie.
That would be an interesting role to see him in. Yeah, we'll have to ask him when he pops up. Like, they didn't call you for that one. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Or were you too busy doing your other 50 movies or whatever?
It looks like your mom came to say hello.
Yep.
Hello.
And she was saying Willie when I said Steamboat, so yep, she knew what it was. Yep.
Steamboat Willie. But yeah, I mean, because Tim, last time I saw Tim, Amityville in Space, and a fun movie. Fun movie. That's a fun movie. That's a fun Polonia.
Yes, agreed.
Tim Hatch, he stole the movie. He was funny as hell. Overall it was fun. The movie was Tim came in and stole the movie. The space guns. I still wish you would have got a space gun when you went back there to shoot the stalking. I wish you would have got that.
Maybe the next time I'm up there, I'll have to be like, Mark, you got to dig up the space gun. I got to get a picture with it.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, yeah. Gonna be different next time you go up there.
Yeah,
it's gonna be different because there's no Kia. It got sold.
Yep, the barn.
The barn's down. The barn's gone. Man, it's gonna be like it's gonna be different over at the Polonia PAL headquarters.
Yeah, it's like I experienced the last part of it. It's like, well, besides whatever they filmed after the stalking, I'm sure there was probably a couple things since then. But me being there, yeah, I haven't.
So. Now I see that you got a. I saw you got a. I saw you did a haul video on some wild eyes that you got. What did you get? Did you? I know you did a video of them. Do you have them right there? The ones that you got?
Oh well, they're still in the box right here. Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, bring them on out. Welcome to Wild Eye.
I still gotta get my other wild eyes out of storage. My other 400. All right.
Man, I mean, just in a different world. Like, I wonder what would happen if they ever had like, the storage war guys, and if they ever opened up your storage unit and they saw 600. I wonder what they would run around going. Yep, wonder.
Actually, Wild Eye, no one wants this shit. No, I'm just kidding.
No, they'd be sitting over there. They'd be sitting over there dragging them to the Pawn Star guy, going like, "I found 600 Wild Eye movies. What can you give for? What can I get for them, Rick?" Well,
there's a couple of them. I got some of them that are out of print. So I mean,
I can see now. Rick can call the phone. Says, "Let me call somebody." He picks up the phone. He calls. Then we see Jason from Horrific Nightmares JM. He rolls up as the expert and he goes, "Well, these are pretty good, Rick. These are worth a lot of money. I can see what's happening."
Yeah. So I got Crazy Fat Ethel.
Crazy what?
Fat Ethel.
Oh, I thought you said Cat Ethel. I'm like, what? How did I miss that? Crazy Fat Ethel. That's the name of the movie.
Mm-hmm. And then Ghost of Amityville.
How can it be a Ghost in Amityville when Amityville's in space?
50 billion ones. This was one that Greta is in, Saurians 2.
Okay. I'm gonna have to get some Greta movies.
Good old Greta. Here we go. Tim Hatch, what up?
Oh yeah, look out! It's our favorite Space Ranger, Tim Hatch. What's going on, Space Ranger?
Hey, I was lost.
Lost in space. Danger,
Tim Hatch, danger.
Yeah, we were just talking about before you popped on. We were talking about Amityville in space, and we were also saying that you should be in the Mickey Mouse movie, the Steamboat Willie. That they should have called you for that. You would have been great for that.
Yeah,
I say we start our fundraising for that right now, right here tonight.
There we go.
Okay.
The take over the role. Oh, what do you mean? I've been.
So we're gonna reshoot it. We're gonna do our version, and then everybody will have to decide. Okay.
We'll have to film it first and get it done. Okay, ours
Right.
is
Well, I'm sure. I think my phone's ringing right here. Let me pick it up. I
Oh.
think it's Mark. I think it's Mark Polonia.
Yeah.
I think he's telling me
Yeah,
that
it's very
you
likely.
already doing it? You already doing it?
That's the only phone number. That's the only number that calls me lately, besides the IRS, I think. But a couple of federals and unmarked territories, but that's about it.
Oh my God, that's all right.
Which is
That's right. So, welcome to episode 151 to the House of Horrors.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were saying last week, we were like, "Where are you for the 150?" And Greg's like, "Well, he might be filming." And I'm like, "Well, we'll let it slide if that's the case. Otherwise,
We're gonna, we're not gonna waste our, Tim on 150th. We're gonna wait till a big episode, like 151.
That's
there
right.
we go. 151.
This is the overlap.
Screw 150.
This is the continuation. This is just the solo version of it. That was the prologue to this. This is the extended
to build up to the
50th. If
the pre-Tim show. There we go.
it's all good. Yeah, that's what I was doing, filming actually. When I'm not sleeping, I'm eating or filming. Yeah.
So
we'll talk about that at some point, I'm sure, in a little bit. But
it hasn't arrived yet, but I did order my copy of Teddy Scare Blu-ray. I was like, I got to get that. So
nice.
So I'll be doing a review on that one of these days whenever it comes in. So, but
great.
From the trailer, it looks pretty funny. So
yeah, thank you. Yeah, definitely reach out when you get to that point. Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. That one is slowly starting to creep out there, and most people have reached out to me, and I'm very, very happy with that one. That was another wonderful experience not too long ago that I was blessed to be a part of, and in a significant way. So I was very, very ecstatic about that. We'll talk about that again in a minute or two, I'm sure, but I kind of came right into the gates here. So
yeah. Bring on the Teddy Scare. Did I scare you with the Teddy Scare?
A little bit.
I did have a question. I mean, of course, without going too much into it, is it like an imaginary bear that came to life, or it's an actual teddy bear brought to life, or what's like the premise of it?
Well, it's an interesting script. There's a multitude of twists and turns to this Teddy Scare picture. Right now, obviously, in general, and it just seems to be an ongoing weird thing, and I don't think it's intentional, or there really isn't, but every time I seem to do a project in recent times, there's it's either connected to something else out there or vice versa, or somebody else piggybacks off our ideas or something or whatnot, but whatever. But there is a lot of bear movies lately. But this is a very special one that you're definitely going to enjoy this one. It's definitely Mark Polonia at his finest, and myself too. And a few, Jeff Kirkendall as well as a villain, Mike Rodish in several different roles too, which he's often good at doing. So anyway, so Teddy, back to your question, it's like every time I try to think about, it physically exists. The bear physically exists in reality.
Is it a squishmallow bear like Doll Shark?
Well, no, you'll have to. I don't want to give a ton away, but definitely I'm going to try to give as much away. The movie it's been released to select people at the moment, I guess, and this is kind of how some of those films start out. They come out a little bit, and then but within the next 3 or 4 months, it'll be everywhere, and on Tubi and Plex and all those. All over the place kind of things. So, it's, I'm trying to still kind of, walk with that a little bit. We can obviously talk a ton about Sharkula and House Squatch and all those things in a few minutes too, because they're definitely out into the world. But Teddy's very fresh coming out. We shot it last summer, or Midsummer, and
So the barn was still up and the Kia was still there when you shot this.
I the Kia it might have been overlapping. The Kia was overlapping. I think the new Marshmallow vehicle, Ghostbusters spin-off about is the new vehicle for a while. But the Kia, I think the Kia did a cameo somehow or whatnot, and still does, because it kind of is still lingering. But it is not the usable force that it once was. And highly featured in Yule-log too, by the way, which we'll get into.
It was in Yule-log.
Yep, it's a big piece of that one, and a spot or two. But anyways, yes, it still was lingering. And also, what was in the barn, the one that's infamous in many films, including Camp Murder. That was it was still around at the time. So anyway, back again to the original question a little while ago. The bear does exist in a physical reality format, and it's cute, and you'll like it, and it can be scary at the same time. But it definitely, it's, there's glimmers of it or glimpses of it in the trailer, but it's definitely quirky and fun and stands on its own. Besides standing on its own, but you'll definitely get a kick out of it. The other thing is the way the story kind of unfolds or whatnot. It's hard to tell at times whether some of this stuff is imaginary or real or both or crossing over, or there's a multitudes of different things that goes on with this script. And as I was shooting it and doing it and preparing for the part and doing all that stuff, there was many times where it kind of, some of it blurred all together, but at least to me, it existed nonetheless. My character's kind of going through a midlife crisis or a change of some things. And it's more, to me, it's more of like a psychological thriller or just a simple drama at times. But it's definitely very much a genre piece that Mark has been known to be a part of, but I think it definitely goes a little deeper, and it's definitely one of Mark's more interesting scripts. He's done many, and they often have different rhymes and reasons and different worlds and things, but this one, there definitely is some deep character stuff going on. But it's delightful. The movies, it was an absolute blast shooting that film, as of many Mark shoots, and especially as of late. And it was certainly a blast and an honor, and to be a part of that. Beyond excited.
What I'm hearing too, I'm hearing something a little bit different this time around, and it sounds to me, because I thought Don Shark was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I like Cocaine Bear. As far as that goes, but I do think that it needed more humor, though. It needed humor. But
yeah, which one? Dow Shark or
you mean Cocaine Shark?
Cocaine Shark, yeah.
Yeah.
I needed.
Yeah, but it was a little different. It was
a little darker for a Mark Polonia movie.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, it's just my own 2 cents was, I think it was ambitious. I think what he did was ambitious. It's like Amityville in Space was ambitious as well. But at least Amityville in Space, what I really liked about it was fun. It's absolutely a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when you try to do a low budget movie on a serious tone, you can get away, you can cover up a lot of your shortcomings with a low budget with comedy.
Right.
People are laughing, they're not really looking, they're not looking at everything else. They're, if someone comes up there wearing a sideways hat, they're laughing at that. Okay, that James Carolla, what a character.
Yes.
Jeff Kirkendall, what a character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think it does cover up some of the budget shortcomings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think when you do a serious movie like Cocaine Shark,
right.
And I do think you try to I think what it does, it highlights the fact that you don't have the budget because it's serious.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%, no question. I actually, I mean, all these films, again, the way they come out at whatever juncture, and the way they present it, and the way the marketing and the posters, and whether the, you know, the, or what, where Mark was going with it, or anybody else that I work with, it you know, it's, I mean, again, I mean, Mark's made thousands of films. I mean, not every movie is going to be, this groundbreaking thing, but I thought he was trying. I mean, I enjoy. I very little to do with the cocaine shark thing, and it, it is what it is, and I enjoy that film. I think. I thought everybody was really good in it. It's a little different tonage.
I like how he did that, like, kind of old detective thing a little bit, like when it was going in his head. It was like the old detective.
Yeah,
like the day
it was like a noir film or a dark thriller or something too. Yeah. But with Teddy Scare, I don't know. I mean, there might be some seams in that showing at times, because again, these are films that are shot on low budget scales, but I mean, Cocaine Shark is out everywhere. And that came out. When did that come out? That must have come out, I think, last spring. Something so like it's that. Definitely out there for if anybody hasn't seen it, whatnot. And same with Doll Shark. Doll Shark did tremendously well.
Yeah.
That's they played at a bunch of festivals overseas, and I was once again really not a part of that, but I'm a part of all these in different ways. I'm connected to them, and
it seems like the shark ones are popular over in Japan.
Yeah,
like they love the shark movies.
Yeah, they're into those monster movies, and that's a lot of fun. I don't know how they received the Cocaine Shark at the moment, but I'm sure. I think it did all right. I have to look back again at some of the stuff and some of the. I mean, it's hard to keep track of all of it. A lot of them are coming out left and right, and but yeah, Cocaine Shark. I mean, Titus did a nice job, and it was lots of little cameos, and wasn't there some quirky stuff? Or like they were some of them were like gangsters and stuff, and hey, Cody, how are you?
How's it going, Cody?
Everybody's favorite Cody. It's tricky. A lot of this is stuff. A lot of these films are, there's a lot going on, and a lot of us are trying a lot of things, and sometimes we don't always nail it. But I think there's a lot of definitely ambition, and definitely like you're saying, Amityville in Space. That's as we're on the gauntlet and seen everything, and that was a film that was definitely based on heart, and a little twist on some things, and that certainly has been a
I really liked Amityville. I thought it was I actually thought it was a lot of fun.
Oh, I remember you were. Yeah, thank you.
I told Steven, I said next time he goes back there,
he wants me to get a picture with one of the guns.
I want one of the space guns.
Oh yeah, I think we still have a few lingering. I think they're.
I want one to put on my. I want one to put it on my collectible shelf.
Just hang it above. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to see on all that.
How many are there?
I think Mark still owns the very first prop he ever used. Are you kidding me? I bet he has the first prop that he ever created. I bet you.
Oh yeah, I think he probably does too. I don't know 1,000,000,000%. He may pop on here tonight at some point, but I'm pretty sure he has, or at least some of that early stuff. No question. He showed us videos that they took of them going through a lot of their stuff, and I think another partner of his, Brett Piper, has many of their stuff. Many of their early, some of the earlier stuff, props and little creatures and things like that.
I wonder if he's ever like. I know he's. Like I said, he's got to probably have. He probably's got several hundred. I wonder if he's ever thought about, doing an auction or a charity or convention, and he's ever thought about selling some of those props. Because I think there'd be I dare say there probably would be a very big market for a lot of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh yeah. I definitely think that it's starting to, if it hasn't already been for quite some time, it's definitely starting to. A lot of his whole scene is really becoming a big thing now. He's definitely
You
a
know,
legend.
it's the same thing. It's the same
Mhm.
thing I mentioned with Steven too, and I think this is you're absolutely right. Is I have to be honest with you. I have heard more about Mark Bologna movies now, ever since Amityville in Space came out, than before Amityville.
Right.
It's the same thing for Asylum. Nobody knew who the hell the Asylum was.
Oh,
But
right, right.
Shudder the
one thing,
awards too for Best
right?
Amityville. That really
Yeah.
helped too on
Mhm.
Shudder.
Mhm.
But you go ahead and if you think of Amityville and you think what's the or the Asylum, you think of what's the one thing you think of the Asylum? What's the first thing you saw of the Asylum? Most of the people I know will sit there and say Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus because that was the first time I ever saw it, and it's the first time for
Mhm.
everybody to see it. And it was like,
Yep.
who's this Asylum company? It
Right.
wasn't Sharknado. It wasn't Sharknado. It was Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus that put them on the map.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, and they've been huge for a while, so or based on a lot of things. But yeah, they definitely have definitely become a staple of some things. Um but yeah, Amityville in Space, we'll go there for a second or two, some more. Yeah, it's obviously a piece of a sequence of films. We're working on doing many more to that field of all those lovable characters and things that people want more of. So we're definitely working on that, if not in the works. That film obviously stemmed off of Amityville Exorcism that did very well. That's been, popping up left and right still. Amityville Island, Amityville Death House. All those films have done very well. They've been in many publications all around the world, from Fangoria, Rue Morgue, Empire, Starburst. I mean, all the biggies. They've been in festivals in Japan. Those, and then Amityville in Space. Same thing. Definitely the Fangoria Awards. But when that and Sharkula were coming out the previous summer, they really was a double-headed dragon onslaught of Mark Polonia and obviously me, a big piece of that, and Jeff Kirkendall also. Amityville in Space was what was it? Let me see. In multitudes of things, multiple press packages at the time. James Brolin did a little stint on it too.
Yeah,
and that was the summer that was way before the Fangoria Awards thing. I mean, so there was definitely a lot of commotion with all that, and then the Fangoria Awards thing happened, and then so let's see what else. I think there was. Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of crazy with Mark because Mark has been able to tap into all the hot topics at the time, or whatever's hitting the indie scene, or whatever's and it's of course the shark thing for a while. Then it's this Amityville thing, and Mark had been at the forefront of, or high on the list on both of those conditions and a few other things now. So we had at the same time as the Sharkula. It's a little more quieter off in the distance, but Sharkula has had a huge run of things too. Same thing. It's been played all over the place. It's been at some festivals overseas in Japan, many magazines all over the world. And then, I think USA Today covered it. And not only that, but they covered shark films in general. And they covered, there were 10 movies mentioned, and 5 of them were Mark and I and Jeff's movies, all, out of the 10 movies, so that was crazy too. And that was it was the fall of 22. And then this year it blended into Mark being on the Shudder documentary Sharksploitation, which again, that Mark was in that for about 5 minutes or so. All the 20 of his shark films were mentioned, posters, clips in the show, as well as in the end credits. So that's major stuff. So it was back to back us being on Shudder and AMC within a month. I mean, that's it's like Netflix. It's a major big deal thing. I've been a part of all those projects, give or take different rhymes and reasons. then also we had Jurassic Shark 3, Doll Shark, and Virus Shark were in a festival around the holidays a few weeks ago or so over in Japan. They had a major shark film festival, and like once again there were like 5 or 6 movies, and Mark had like the main core of it, and the highlight film was Jurassic Shark 3. So I mean it's been crazy, but I've still, again, Mark, myself, Jeff, obviously Steve from seeing us face to face, we still certainly put our pants on one leg at a time, and
is that how you do it? Oh, I'm doing it all wrong.
We get our props at the dollar store. I mean, it's still, we're certainly, we're definitely not, Vin Diesel level at this point, but it has been tremendous. It's been a blast. We still grunt it out every day. We're working on stuff, if not multiple projects every day.
The one thing though that I like to see though, and this is the thing. This is the true catch.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, Mark has done some really fun movies. He really has. He's been underneath the radar for forever. but now he's no longer under the radar. I mean, now people actually know who, when you mention a Mark Polonium movie, they know what you're talking about. A lot of people.
He's reinventing. Yep.
But so to me, it's like, okay, now that people have found you and everything, now is what that time to go. Now's the time where it's like, to me, it's like, because I asked this question a lot when I first started doing my interview show. And that is like, if you have $10,000, let's say you have a $50,000 budget, you have a movie that you can film for $50,000. But let's say you raise 15,000 of it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, are you going to sit there and wait for the other 35,000, or are you going to shoot with what you got?
Yes.
And I think most people would say, well, shoot what you got.
Yep.
And I think right now, I think that's a mistake. I think that's a big mistake. Because all you're doing, you're going back to what you did before, which is nothing good. Because every movie should be getting better.
Right.
The acting and the acting of Cocaine Shark. Yes, if there had been a bigger budget for a more serious tone story and whatnot, the effects and everything else, awesome. I had no problem with the acting, with the acting of it. But like I said before, because the acting was above. Because it was above. I mean, Titus and Natalie did a really nice job.
They were great.
Yes, yep.
But they are. They're acting in a $500,000 movie with a $15,000 budget. Like I said before, it's noticeable how big that difference is. It's just like, and to me, it's like, okay, but now that you're known, now you sit there. Now you wait until you get that $50,000 that you need to shoot the entire film, because you want that film to pop. You don't want it to be like, wow, well, the acting was good, but everything else was bullshit.
Right.
You're past that point. You're no longer that filmmaker.
Right. No, I know. I know. I have that feeling inside my body. I believe me. I've had it for a long time, and even still in this last year-ish, it is still. I mean, we're not sleeping. We're not. I mean, it's been a very crazy time, and our emotions are, all over the charts. And I believe me, I the more the merrier, the bigger the better. I mean, we are definitely gaming for bigger, for more crazier things to come. But we're still trying to stay busy. We're still trying to do what we can. We like to stay loyal to some people, and that can be sometimes tricky with this business. It's a lot. I every day this goes through my head 24/7. I mean, I'm not just sitting around. It's been very difficult. I mean, there were times when I thought I was out of this scene. I mean, Jeff could probably contest to that too. I mean, Mark's always making movies, but Jeff and I, we have regular lives. We have, obviously, and it's a tough world out there right now. There's a lot going on, as we all know. And so, it's a lot. And then to deal with this stuff, it's Hollywood and show business and the movie world. It's a gamble, and it's an art form first. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot. But yeah, we are I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I mean, yeah, we are aiming to keep pushing the boundaries with whatever we're able to utilize. And I try to do something every day. You know, I try to stay busy, whether it's write a new script or shoot something for some, you know, something, a web show or just whatever. I'm every day I try to get something out there. But yes, certainly if we definitely fall into a pot of, you know, a good chunk of change, we are going to, you know, throw it at the wall. I mean, it's coming. We're you know, and yes, we're ready. We're taking good applicants at any time, but you know, but it's funny, and I'm not the only one, and I'm not going to name a lot of names, but there are a lot of people that are in my corners and my arm's reach that are in similar boats. And again, I don't want to speak or put behind the scenes stuff to the public, but it's hard for all of us, and we've all, you know, I've had some really good luck with a few other filmmakers over the last bit of time. And I don't want to speak on everybody's backgrounds and things, but we're all still grinding and really trying, and we're presented with new things that either challenge us or make things harder for ourselves, you know, because
you're absolutely right, Tim. You know, what you said was something that's also has to be talked about too, with the fact that, you know, Mark's movies are gaining a little bit more notoriety, more respect. And the fact is, maybe it's going to come to that time much sooner than later where he needs to elevate cast. You know, maybe instead of going to the same old, you know, grabbing the Rolodex and punching in the same 10 people, maybe now he might have to actually audition people, you know, like now might have to open this up, because now your budget, because believe me, if producers come his way and they say, Mark, we want to work with you, I could promise you this. One of the first things they're going to tell him is you can't use the same people you have.
Yeah.
It's the first thing they're going to tell him.
I know. To some degree, I know. I mean, yes, I know. I know all that tail. Yes, I know. We're not there yet, I don't think, unfortunately. So, and that still doesn't mean any disrespect to anybody in recent times. I mean, we've had people come and go, and we've had different things, and I've had people that come out of left field, and even in just other worlds where I was like, oh, this person's who knows, and then like everybody's talking about him the next day. I'm like, really? Like, this is your favorite actor? I'm like, so it's hard to tell. Who is this?
Hit the like button for the
But yeah, no, certainly. I once again, I totally agree with you. I hear you 1,000,000,000%. If we ever get to that point, we'll see. But I again, you know, right now, you know, the thing is Mark, myself, Jeff, because I'm only speaking for these guys right now because this is we're talking about Mark's world, and some of the other more direct Polonia pals that are more often, I'm not going to name the names, but we all Hollywood has not come fully knocking yet. So I don't want to get into that or or get into this. This is a weird topic to talk about. But
how about initials, Tim? Give us some initials. Don't give names.
No. It doesn't matter. I mean, right out the gates, it's Mark Polonia, Jeff Kirkendall, and myself that really run the gamut, or really in Anthony Polonia too. You know, are the constants in this more recent times of at least the production side of these projects. But it's just, again, you know, Mark is a meat and potatoes guy. I'm a meat and potatoes guy. Certainly, if somebody said, here's $100 million to make a movie, I definitely think we will think about it. We will consider all sources. We'll do those numbers and bite the bullet. But it's just right now, we really, I mean, you know, Mark's had throughout his career has had close calls, and he's had moments where it was, you know, real close to getting on the ship, or you know, in terms of, you know,
I don't think he's ever had quite the push he's had now.
As of late, yeah, I think it's, well, the thing is also the scene has slightly changed in this last decade. I mean, with the movie industry has changed. Everything's upside down, left, right, you know, and then the internet has taken fold. And so it's hard to tell. And I guess my point is, before ending this, I guess, topic, is just we're not in positions yet to take any big crazy risks. I get it that we now have a broader audience. I guess that's the wording we're getting to. And yes, to do the best we can. Believe me, I am waiting my whole life to get to these points. And I'm still counting my blessings or trying to see what's next. But the game is very tricky. I mean, it's just, but I truly love making films. I've always loved making films since I've been able to do it. I have insane hopes for bigger and better and crazier and more, pushing more boundaries. And believe me, every one of us are stepping up as much as we can. I mean, again, we live in normal worlds. So we're pushing every envelope, every penny, every extra ounce that all of us can to take things to new levels. And we are, but it's again, it's a slow burn. It's just, I don't know what's going on. I mean,
as long as you guys, as long as all three of you are pushing the same rock in the same direction, it'll be fine. And
we're trying to keep everybody happy too. And
well, I mean,
but the audience too, like they want sequels, they want spin-offs, they want all these things, and then we're still trying to put out something different or some new thing as well too. And we're doing well with that too. Mm-hmm. So it's, I'm still very happy and very proud. And we're all.
Is Anthony getting more involved now? Is he pretty much all in, a part of the team? I have yet to see his movie that he made. I know he made a movie called Zillafoot.
Yeah.
I have yet to see that. But is Anthony now full-time working with his father?
Yeah, I mean, Anthony, he's trying to do his own thing. He's trying to, he's in a position too that's a little interesting too. No, he's. I mean, again, I don't like to talk for. I don't want to get into these things. That's a kind of a top. I mean, but as far as I'm concerned, Anthony is doing the best that he can as a human being too, and he's certainly. He is very much involved, as much as he probably a little more here and there or whatever, but he's a pleasure to be around. And I'm
sure he learned a lot.
And and it's it's tricky again, because again, you're talking about Mark and Ant. I mean, and I don't know what it was like when it was Mark and John per se, because it's a while ago now, but I mean, for an example, let's just randomly, generically talk about something. Let's say I had a relationship, a girlfriend or a partner person that was also an artist. And, sometimes this stuff, it's hard. I mean, and you hear about it with all artists that sometimes there's conflictions or jealousies or, even like, just a completely big one, random thing, but like the Stallones, right? With Sylvester and Frank, and how Frank is just as much a amazing artist. And most people, think of, Stallone and his legacy, or Rocky and all that, but they both, and they talked about it on their recent interviews and how it's been a part of their life and dealing with all this stuff. And the same, you could think with Mark and Anthony. I mean, I'm sure they have their different, things with things, but I know that they certainly really appreciate each other, of course, and very much respectful of each other's journeys. But yeah, Anthony is definitely very involved. So,
and I enjoyed working with him.
Interesting stuff. Huh?
I say I enjoyed working with him on the Stalking, meeting him too. So
he's a little different. He does it. He has like a different style to his natures, but he certainly is. He's definitely extremely talented and very blessed and very lucky and very fun to be around. Yeah, I'm very grateful for his efforts.
I was just checking the chat real quick, see what's going on. Mostly they're just chatting with each other there, but yeah. So. Let's see what else. So we got that Amityville in Space.
What else we go back to Teddy Scare for a little bit.
You mentioned Rocky. Well, you mentioned Rocky, and that's probably the other thing we could talk about a little bit too. Carl Weathers passed away this week as well.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny. It's like the one thing I felt when I heard about him, he passed away.
Yeah.
I just felt an overwhelming sadness for him.
Mm.
I did, because when people start talking about his movies, they brought up Rocky, and they brought up Predator, and they brought up they I just kept on thinking, like, and they brought up Action Jackson, and I'm going like,
Yeah.
he should have had fucking an arm's length full of blockbuster films. He should have.
I know.
He was
Yeah.
he was leading man, handsome. I mean, God, when off the top of this game, name 5 other leading men in Hollywood at that time that were as handsome and as charismatic as Carl Weathers was. You couldn't.
Right.
You couldn't.
Mhm.
But good Lord, I mean, you go back there and you look, and for who he was and what he should have been so much bigger. He should have been like massive.
Yeah.
Eddie
I know
Murphy.
it's
Eddie
hard,
Murphy.
man. But yeah, he definitely still. I mean, yes, I agree. He's definitely potential through the universes, but even still, what he did do, a lot of those films are definitely had been huge films. I mean, just ridiculously. I didn't even, some of them I forgot that he did. I was like, really? I forgot that was him in that movie. Like, definitely, certainly pretty darn good for the, without the extreme levels of luck. But I mean, yeah, I mean, the Rocky movies, I mean, he's even the current ones are all called Creed. I mean, it's like, he certainly nailed it with that. The Predator movie and some of those kinds of movies. And he stayed busy. I mean, and he played football and a bunch of other things too, and was in a bunch of stuff, and definitely in quite a life. And yes, I mean, it is a shame and sad, and he certainly could have lived a lot, could have been a lot longer and more wonderful, better, more expansive things.
I'm just looking at his line of credits right here. And
what we got?
You look at it and go like, okay, what did he have? He has some TV shows, but then next thing you see him, and that he took these movies. It wasn't because he took them because he's like overwhelmed by the script. He took them because he had bills to pay. But he did it like in a silent movie called American Warships, and he did one, Sheriff Tom versus the Zombies. Fucking Carl Weathers, that man of that caliber of actor, having to do that. It's just bullshit. You look at the same period of time and you're like, wow, really? There's nothing else that you could cast this man in other than Sheriff Tom versus the Zombie. It's bullshit.
I know. Yeah.
It's like, wow.
It's hard to believe stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when I say it, it's like when people said, well, when the first thing you think of was all the movies he did during the heyday. But it's like, okay, but what about during that time, between a Predator and now, or between now and the Mandalorian. I mean, that's awesome. But I mean, like, look, he proved he could do comedy. Look, he carried a TV show. Okay, not many people remember this, but Carl Weathers took over for Carol O'Connor for In the Heat of the Night.
Right,
and was outstanding in that.
That's
role.
right. Yeah.
And then he did. Then he showed he could do. He showed he could do a comedy when he did Happy Gilmore. And and to his credit, Adam Sandler used some other films as well.
Yeah.
He showed that he could do it. I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, you look at the Expendables, right? And look at all those 80s action stars. Sylvester Stallone himself.
Yeah.
Where was Carl Weathers for that?
Yeah, that's right. He would have been great in the Expendables.
Yeah, where was he for that? I mean, seriously. I mean, why aren't you putting them in? Why aren't you putting them in something like that? That because that movie restarted a lot of careers.
Yes,
it really helped out a lot of people.
That's right, or got them back on the path again. Yeah,
certainly. It just really bumps me out that when we mentioned Carl Weathers and you go back and you really look at what he's done. And for what he was, who he was back there to where he was now, it's really empty. His body of work is really empty and not nearly what it should have been. And it wasn't because he wasn't a good actor. He was a great actor. And I think I never heard or whisper about him being a problem on any set. Never.
Right.
I mean, always anything I ever read about him said he was a gentleman to work with. And and it's just like it really bums me out. I mean, I watched Action Jackson. I reviewed it. And at first, the first half of that movie was really good. It was really good. And then the second half wasn't all that. And I know they were trying to do a franchise with it, and it never really got off the ground. Though I do think if they would have tried it again, I think it would have did it much better. But I just felt like he just deserved much, much better than what he got. And killing off Apollo Creed. That was probably the singular biggest mistake Sylvester Stallone made in the whole Rocky thing, was he killed Apollo. Nobody liked that. Nobody. Everybody was sitting there like, that's not
I know,
right.
it's pretty dark. Yeah.
It was really dark, and it's like, wow, do you need, look, you killed off Mickey, okay? Great. let that be let that.
That's the only death we need in it,
Yeah, Mickey was 86 years old. He could go.
Even that was painful too.
Come on, Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah, knock your block off.
Yeah.
But to kill I remember sitting there watching that, and I'm going like, oh, this is some bullshit. I'm seriously, I'm sitting there going like, really? I can understand him losing the fight, but being killed, it was just like, wow, it's just, And of course, then Rocky goes up there and he does that movie montage of his training. He gets in there with a Drago, and he's got like a quarter of the damage to his face that Apollo put on him in the first Rocky.
Yeah,
Rocky beat him senseless the first two, and it looked like Rocky walked down the line and people just swung bats at him. Oh, he fights Ivan Drago, and all of a sudden he comes out with, I got a little boo-boo right here, Mom. It's like, seriously?
Hey, maybe we need a horror boxing one. I mean, there's the wrestler Wild Eye one, so maybe we should do a boxing one.
Right.
That'd be fun to see.
Yeah.
No, okay. I just think the only good thing I will say about this is that I really did appreciate Sylvester Stallone saying this. They asked him, it says, at the end of Rocky 3, the freeze frame, he says, well, who won the fight? And Sylvester Stallone, without a doubt, he didn't even question it. He says, Apollo did. It's like, why are you asking that question? That's an easy question. That's an easy answer. That's the easy answer. Apollo, kicked my ass. And I just wish there had been more of that for Carl Weathers, because he deserved it. And now his legacy will still go on, of course, with the Creed series.
Yeah.
But again, it's like how much don't you regret now? To me, the first question I would ask Sylvester Stallone today would be, do you regret killing Apollo Creed off? I because you could have.
I'll go ahead and message his agent and see if we can get him.
Yeah, that's the first question I would ask. The first question I would ask.
You're good at that.
It would either be like, why did you kill him off, or do you regret killing him? Because neither one should have happened.
It's like, we don't have to have him on with we just want to ask him one question. Just a 30-second interview.
Get him on the phone, Steven.
Steven got him on speed dial. I got the hookup. You don't know what's in my phone.
Don't you can let's ask the chat that. Let's turn this over to the chat. I mean, we got eight heads sitting over here listening to us. And the replay. So one, I guess, would be is should Apollo Creed had died? Should Sylvester Stallone had killed him off, or just having him get beaten down? Either way.
Hobbs is here.
Don't be hating on Rocky 4. I hate on Rocky 4. I do. I hate it. I hate on it because they shouldn't have killed Apollo. Apollo was the champ. Even he was pretty
dominant.
Yeah. Well, why not bring Clubber Lang back for Rocky 4 and have him die? No one cared about Clubber Lang. Have him get beat down.
Right. That's true.
So, any
Here's an
hey,
asshole.
since we're talking about fighting stuff, any good fight scenes that you had to do in anything coming up, or anything you can talk about, or
Well,
I
let's
think
see.
they should have had Apollo beat Drago.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh, uh,
but yeah,
Hobbs bringing sauce today. Oh shit!
oh,
Look
he's
at
bringing,
What? What's
Oh,
he
he's
got?
bringing sauce today. He says this coming from a guy who doesn't even like Halloween '78. No, I don't like Halloween '78. No, I don't. I don't make no bones about
Sorry.
that.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I did that. I was just kidding. Oh, don't like 78? Nah.
Come on
now
now.
Tim's on top. You've been demoted to the bottom screen.
God.
Let's see,
It's a
let's see.
Brady
Yeah.
Bunch.
Pretty much.
Then they got all this whoop. I can be
Oh my
large in
goodness!
charge.
That you could leave it like that if you want,
Oh, there you
or
go.
have me in the corner.
And then just me.
Oh, it's just
Hey.
Steve. He's being crazy.
Steve's taking over.
We should make a movie like this.
Well, yeah,
Just doing all this stuff.
It's been done, sort of, except not as a podcast. They've done it as other ways, talking, but
Mhm.
not a podcast.
That's right.
I should raise it. We should do something.
I'm starting to get vertigo.
We'll have
I'm
to
starting
write
to get vertigo watching myself go up and down, up and down.
Oh, but what is this, a riot? It's like viewers who have motion sickness. Warning: there is motion in podcasts may cause dizziness.
Oh my goodness!
You know
actually
what
am.
want- you know what
I am
wanna see-
getting
you know
dizzy.
What I want to see for the next. You know what I want to see for the next Creed movie? I want them to make a ASMR movie. You know, where they just barely go like this.
Or where they'll rub their gloves together. and then with the mouth guard.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, Tim, you started saying about any fight scenes in any upcoming movies.
No, I'm trying to think of. I mean, let's see. Jurassic Shark 3 was a lot of action in that one.
Yeah.
Let's see what else do we have before that.
Give
There was
Teddy
some-
the bear hug. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, maybe I think there was a little bit of some of that in House Squatch, and there was some struggling stuff in Amityville in Space. There was some physical things with the monster guy.
Now you know well Emeryville and Space did, right? Now you're like, holy shit, this is awesome. So going forward, will there be sort of like, you know, like, wow, that's a really cool prop. It would look really nice on my shelf. And you know, since you're part of the organization and everything, won't you be able to take a prop home with you if you want? I mean, if, like if there's a shark head or like the Squishmallow shark and doll shark, I would take that Squishmallow. I would take that and put it on my collectible.
That would be fun to have the doll shark.
It would be. That when I saw the Squishable, I'm going like Squishmallow. I'm going like, oh, that's awesome. That we need.
Yeah,
that's what we need.
The only one thing that was kind of annoying. I mean, I love Doll Shark, don't get me wrong, but that Shark song for the kids that kept playing when he was watching it, I'm like, oh my gosh. That was annoying.
Yeah, that was done with that intent. I mean, those things do happen, and I think that was the intent. Was for it to be kind of silly.
Well, that's real life, though. The kids' song shows are always annoying.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's just like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that,
Certainly.
it was great though. But I just.
Yeah, I may have a thing or two, and I mean, I'm welcome to things, but we utilize some things in different projects, and if they're significant to the future stuff, we hold on to it. And so yeah, but yeah, people have been able to keep props and costumes and things from time to time.
Mm-hmm, yeah, I got some plants from the stocking. No, I'm just kidding. Walk off with the sunflower. What do you do with that sunflower? What sunflower? Oh, did I hear a dog?
Yeah, my doggy.
That's all right. Well, we know it's pet time on the House of Horrors anyway. Let's see. Greta's had her cats. Patrick had his cat.
Oh yeah,
dogs. Some other people offhand I can't think of had their pets on, but the House of Horrors.
Yeah, it's happened before. Certainly.
Let's see, what else can you talk about? I know, like, it's can't really talk about it unless it's on IMDb.
Yeah, sort of. We'll talk about a few other things, and then we'll kind of wrap up with Teddy Scare again. So other movies that I've been in that have done pretty well. They've been out for a little bit, and the last bit of time was let's see, Amityville Thanksgiving, with obviously Will Colazo Jr. and Julianne Prescott, which you obviously know, Stephen.
Yep.
They have their own thing going there too, and
I have one question: how the hell did they get the Amityville house out of space?
Oh, back
It's
to
in
Amityville.
space. It's
How
in
to get
space,
out of
man. Yeah, it's in space. How are you going to get it down?
It's still there. It's still hanging out up there.
Okay, so obviously, what we're seeing here from Will and Julie is a poser. It's a
Right.
fake.
That's right. Among a thousand other Amityvilles that came out
There
last
can't
year.
be any Amityvilles. It's still in
Again,
space.
someone has to explain
How
the
it came
Amityville
back
house
down and they
got
used it.
I think was Amityville Thanksgiving before space, though. I think. I don't know.
No, I think all those things kind of overlapped each
Came
other.
around
There
the
was
same time.
yeah, there was a lot that were in the back burner that all came out at the same time.
All I know is that how that
they're
house.
all obviously their own individual story plots, and this isn't like Marvel where everybody's connected as
in
much.
the same universe.
Behind the scenes,
Excuse me, but I take that Mark Polonius Amityville stories are canon. They're canon. They're exactly what happened to the house with the people in the house. Everybody else around it are posers. They're just, yeah. So we're
at
go
least
with,
his premise so far with Amityville. Okay.
Yeah, you're the only Polonius Amazon or Amityville counts.
Right? All right. Okay. That can be fair enough. I'm sure everybody has their. I mean, I'm not again speaking for others, but everybody has their own beliefs. So there is certain yes. So anywho, I mean, yeah, fair enough. Anyways, Will Colazo Jr. and Julianne Prescott and their partnership of projects, they have had they have their different world and their journey that they're on too, with projects and Hollywood scene and this whole journey too, and they have put out a multitude of films and they've been involved in a lot of similar boats and similar things like Mark too, and I'm kind of a crossover to a couple of these things among a few others. But anyways, the films that I've been involved with them, I'm just trying to go through the line about that of their projects and how well they've done in the last year or two as well, and because they certainly have done very well as well. So I can't ignore that because this is me as an individual performer working for different people and stuff. Anyways, Amityville Thanksgiving did tremendously well out the gates. That was an SRS cinema release. And it's a quirky movie, and it was done, very shoestring, and we can see the seams and talk all day on all that stuff too. But again, it was a film that was made very, very like off the seat of the pants with a lot of love, and it's done insanely well, along with every other movie I've been a part of. But last year was like tons of movies, and some that were like microscopic that it was like this movie will never come out or never see the light, and they come out of left field. And I'm talking stuff from way back when I was a baby that have come back out and they've been on major platform. I'm like, really? It's been nuts. And once again, so I know again, I obviously need to think about the future and all this stuff. But anyways, back to Amityville Thanksgiving did tremendously well. It did the same. It was in a lot of press and a lot of things, and it was really likened by Fangoria for some reason. Once again, and I'm not going to get into all that per se, but it really lit up a lot of things, and then it pushed to us as a core, and Stephen, this was kind of some of your. We went on to make Amityville Turkey Day as a follow up to Amityville Thanksgiving, and very different.
Out soon, I thought
totally different thing, and it's coming out soon. Mm-hmm. But in the midst of all that, we've also seen, and I don't want to get into this, but there's I believe it, but a lot of people like to counter me in my imaginaries worlds at times too. But the press we got from Amityville Thanksgiving through Fangoria, and it leads into recent times too, and I'll discuss that in a second. It pushed not only for us to push for Amityville or Turkey Day, which made a lot of noise. Even it's not even been out, and it made a ton of noise too. But in the midst of that, Eli Roth went and made this recent Thanksgiving film, Hollywood film.
Yeah.
And we're all in the same magazines together. And Fangoria, or they were like, Amityville Thanksgiving, and then within a month later, Eli said, I'm going to go and make my trailer of Thanksgiving a feature film now. And it came out a few months ago, obviously, and it did very well for itself. And I thought it was cute and clever. And, my friends went and enjoyed it and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. A lot of Amityville, Amityville in Space, then Amityville Thanksgiving, then there was Karen and all these other ones. And Will and Julia were a part of Amityville Karen 2, which was part of Fangoria Awards as well. Yeah. So that was, we're all kind of it was a bunch of connected pieces there. But this was all in the last year. So Amityville Thanksgiving comes out, does well, then this thing with Eli Roth, and then we go and do Turkey Day, and then we were like, all of a sudden there was like a burst again of like all this Amityville, and then like a week later, like all of a sudden it was like Fangoria is like, oh, we created an Amityville category, like out of the blue. And I'm like, okay, well, which was it? And so, or what chicken egg led to whatever, but still the thatch or the hatched an egg anyway, but whatever. So but still I'm being silly, but there's a lot of twisty, turny, mythy things going on. And I don't know which is what to all of it, but nonetheless, we all got a lot of noise, a lot of connect, and a lot of these films have come out, all done well, and a lot of them for different rhymes and reasons and different budgets, and trying to think what else. And then lastly, so then I'll finish off at least the Will stuff with the Thanksgiving, and then also some other things he's been involved in. So meanwhile, this past Thanksgiving, when Thanksgiving come out and did pretty well. Fangoria again went back into the Thanksgiving promo film vault again, and they did, this is our top 10 Thanksgiving films. And this is Fangoria. This isn't like corner mom and pop newsletter. This is the major huge worldwide publication. Yep. They went again and said in the top 5 that Amityville Thanksgiving is, even though it's cheesy and goofy or silly as it is a major Thanksgiving film. And I'm like, what? And so again, that leans back to where we wonder if Eli saw that and pushed to do his thing, or all this stuff too. So my tips to Will and Julie as well. They're a different world than obviously Mark and the Polonia world universe, but kind of doing their own thing in a different realm. But we also, a little while back, we all met up when we did a film called Camp Murder, which has been doing very well. And there's a lot of wants for sequels, and a lot of people came out of that film as, it had its own little cult following too. And that was a couple summers ago now too. So that's kind of where some of these projects spun off and different things. And so lastly, still on the Will Colazzo, Julianne Prescott front, we also have done, and Steven's been a part of this, of course, lately. There's been a multitude of Camp Bloods, and somehow Mark is always high on the list of those films. No question. He's definitely the staple of the Camp Blood unit. Like Mark runs he's the top of like every indie genre, like shark films, Camp Blood, so it's always Mark, but coming in, slightly, in understanding form, Will has now done a couple of Camp Bloods as well, and he's possibly may end up doing another at some point. So, and I know Stephen, obviously you're a part of the part 9, and congratulations with that.
Thank you.
But meanwhile, months before that, we did a Camp Blood 666 part 2, which is on Tubi and in Prime and a bunch of other things currently. And that film, everybody has mixed things on some of the Camp Bloods and whatever. They're gritty films, and it's an underground scene, but it's definitely has its own legacy and it's been going strong, and everybody really loves all that stuff, and they've done tremendously well, and a lot of people, again, go back to some of the the earlier versions, and but this more recent one that I executive produced alongside with David Sterling and Will and Julie, and also played a significant part. That film has done tremendously well this past 6 months as well too, and there was a Hollywood interview thing that come out again and said it was like the top independent horror movie or something. I was like, really?
let me ask you a question, Tim. I'm gonna go with this one. So Josh Brolin, I saw a clip of Josh Brolin he did an interview with.
Yeah.
And he was saying how, like he was, flat bottom. He was like, he was pretty much broke. And then he did the one movie with No Country for Old Men. And and he and his attorney
right.
His attorney got a hold of him and said, "Hey, did you see the same interview?"
I remember the film.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, he got his here he's been doing a bunch of other stuff, and now here he is did No Country for Old Men, and this attorney got a hold of him and said, "Hey, did you get my email?" And then he said, no, let me take a look, and he looked, and at first he thought it was 60,000. He says, okay, that's going to keep me rolling. After I pay everybody else, that'll keep me rolling for 6 months or so. And then the attorney says, no, it's not 60. It's 600,000.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I know this is going to be a touchy thing, but does that happen for you guys on that level too? Do you go inside these movies expecting to make a little bit of money, and then unexpectedly, when your movies do really well in Japan or what have you, has that ever happened where you've just got money, got a major paycheck unexpectedly and from one of your projects?
No, nothing like that has obviously happened for me just yet, because we were earlier talking about that if we had a chunk of money, that certainly bigger budget films would be happening. No, that has not happened just yet. I keep hoping any minute that would be nice. But
the stocking hasn't come out yet.
So not starving to death, but I've had in the last year and a half or two at most, the rewards have come in other ways, and they often happen in spurts, or they come every couple of days. I find yes, again, no question would love to be loaded. My life right now is tricky. I live a normal kind of life right now. Like most people, they're worried about bills, and so certainly no strain. Yes, if I fell into a pot of, it would be amazing. But I try to live my life in different. It's kind of just how I've been raised by kind of hippie parents in a way, and I know, and I understand, like, bills have to be. I totally get it, and also that if I'm on top of the world, that's great success. I get it, but I still try to find little moments or little things, even on the sets, or little hiccups, there's always things that I try to find something, like when I was going on about all these twists and turns to patterns of things. Like, I try to find morals and deeper things to things, and relish into that sometimes more so, because sometimes, like they usually say, and believe me, certainly if I had $1 trillion, Mark had money, all of us had a lot of money, like, it would change our lives, no question. But I just find happiness. I've had luck. There's been all this past year, like I just said, every week there's been a new article, or I'll go to the store and we're on the cover of Rue Morgue somehow. Nobody didn't tell me. And I was like, how are we on the cover of Rue? Or sometimes I call Steven and I'm like, hey, did you see, and there's been that pattern for at least me I mean, because obviously the show is about my career at the moment.
Yeah.
It's been the last year and a half or 2 years, and it certainly has been based on my luck with obviously Mark Polonia, but that stems from my relationship with with Jeff Kirkendall from way back too. We've been through this a trillion times, how it all connects and everything else, because we've talked about it many, many, many times. But it certainly has been all our passions coming together as a force, and it's spun into other worlds and other opportunities. And we still have a lot more coming out. Teddy Sierra's coming out. It's going to be humongous too. We don't know where that's going to take a bunch of us. I mean,
but isn't it still the major, especially with all this publicity, right? It's great having the publicity.
Right.
It's awesome.
Right.
That's what you look for. It's what you want.
Right.
But there's only a reason why you want it for, and that is to actually move units. Like you want to sell your movie.
Right.
You want to either sell it either to a streaming service, distribute it, or sell, physical copies.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, it's like all these movies, if they suddenly start doing really, really well because of all the publicity you're garnered,
right.
To me, it's like, okay, great.
Why am I
not? Have we sold? Well, this quarter, last quarter, we sold 1,500 units of a movies that we've been in. This year, though, because of all the publicity, now we sold 25,000 units. That's a lot more than 1,500.
Yeah, I know. So, I don't know to why there's still, and it's crazy because is tremendous. Like I can show, like, look, and I still, even in run of the mill life, it's still this acting game for me has always been a journey. It's sometimes a good and a bad struggle. I mean, it's been, even when you win and then you still don't, like this, like you're saying, like I haven't been flooded with, all these things. It does bug us. It does bug me. I can't speak for, I don't know why it hasn't been raining a lot of things lately, but I still, again, I look at the things again that I don't want to get into all this like point and negatives. It's a tricky thing. I've been extremely, I get it. And I've had people straight up say to me, well, then why aren't you loaded? Or why aren't you making
I don't think it's loaded at all.
No, but it is like, I should be like I remember hearing like there was many people I went to college with that were like bumble dumps and they got one part on a soap opera and now they're like huge. And I'm like, how did that happen? And I don't know sometimes. And then I've been able to write, produce, direct, act, edit. I mean, all these things, and I've worked hard and hard and hard. And sometimes I get a little bit and a little here, so it's you kind of have to sort of again look at it as I try to look from the bottom up, and I have to look at my blessings and count like, okay, I have food in my stomach, I have a roof over my head at the moment. Because the Rocky movies, he was up, down, up, down, up, down. The dude was on top of the world, and at the end of the movie, he's on a street corner again, singing with the guys around the barrel. I mean, life is a roller coaster, and again, I mean, I've been luckier than many, and so but yes, I'm still trying to figure out why certain things aren't really as off the charts as they still should be or could be, or like again, like with us being so prominent in Fangoria or on the Fangoria Awards that I've heard other people that like showed like a short film at some festival and they got CB, like some major company gave them $3 million to make a movie. I thought when you got nominated as best film of something in a major awards thing that they came knocking. They missed my phone number somehow, but have you ever heard of the term called Oscar bump? Maybe. What is it?
So the Oscar bump is when a movie will come out during the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Right. It'll do its run, and then if it gets nominated for an Oscar, the studio will put it back out, or if it's already out, it'll put it back out in more theaters. Right. And more people have already seen the movie. It's already many times the movie's already run its course at the box office, but because it got nominated, now more people want to go see it.
Right.
So then people will go back there and bump it up, money.
Yeah.
because of all the publicity and everything else. And that's really to me, it's like, does that happen? Does that happen for any filmmakers? Do they?
Well, I mean, with our,
well,
yeah, I mean, I sort of said that a little while ago, and I'll go back to that in a second. But I mean, again, we've had films that, again, like I just said, where like, I mean, there's too many to talk about. But again, like Amityville Thanksgiving, it came out and made a buzz. That's what you're talking about. It made a buzz right out the gates in the summer of 22. Then it propelled to sequels that made a lot of buzz and were on some other weird little awards things. Then it comes, or the other Thanksgiving thing comes out, push out this more press, and then we're back in the forefront again. And, but then sometimes that leads to other things getting noticed, or like if other things are attached or connected, there has been a snowball effect. But it just, again, like I said, like I was kidding a few minutes ago, yes, it hasn't been this like insane, like when Rocky said, Rocky, come out and change my life. Like it really has not happened that for me and a few others that I know. And I don't want to name the name. Obviously we've been, we probably could guess who these people are, but we are slow as a turtle, making little strides, making progress. And our names are getting out there. The films are out there. They're getting into places I would have never imagined. I mean, I kind of got back into this realm a little while ago, almost as a 40th chance again, because the acting thing is up, down. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to enjoy this. I'm lucky to get to do this, and, or at least to a fulfilling level. And that's kind of still where I'm at for the most part. But yes, believe me that, I certainly want to push the limits and see new worlds and try definitely new territories of my art and stuff like that. But it is coming, and it's slowly coming. But yeah, that propelling of things, it's kind of been a back and a forth and a back and a forth. And it is kind of, it does, it makes you wonder, but at the same time, again, like I said, it's like, it seems like every week or every other week, there's been some new good news or something interesting happens that I was like, oh, wow, I didn't see that one coming. Or so it's the blessings have come in different ways, and they've kept me going and kept me sort of happy to see that, because I'm glad to see that that people are enjoying the products, enjoying the fun that we're having. And people are, and people are wanting more and requesting more, and it's growing. And there's, as much as we want to do, as much as we still have to sleep too, and eat our meals and things like that. But it's definitely, as far as I know of, I'm again speaking first for myself. I'm in it. There's no turning back at this point. I'm going to keep trying to push everybody's boundaries as far as we can take it within reason for everybody's conditions. But certainly I definitely am pushing to do as much as I can, when I can, and how I can with this work.
I was gonna say, how you were saying, how you were saying, like someone from college was like, oh, you've been doing this, why aren't you loaded? Well, I obviously haven't done as much as you, but the few things I've done, like when I'm leaving work to go movies, they're like, why do you still work here? You're doing movies. I'm like, yeah, I need a job too. It's not what you think.
Yeah, it's hard. I know you're doing, I know, Steve, but believe me, you're gonna see a lot, and it ain't just with all just the simple stuff that's on the forefront. You're going to see a lot of stuff yet to come.
I've been learning more.
Young lad.
So, yeah.
But still, you have to still, again, like what I do is step outside the box. You go back to your core. It's a lot of spiritual stuff, and really, and look at what you have. The acting field, the film industry, it is you got buddies, and the next day they don't know who you. It's like Heist Middle School. It's a game. It's not for the faint of heart, and you have to keep recentering, or that's what I do. I have to keep recentering, no matter what comes my way, good or bad. I have to go back to, again, what is the most, like, this was a journey. Like, I went and did something. It did well. Wow, I didn't expect that. So that's the blessing of it. It's, and I know it's an industry and I know it's a business now. And I know there's all this stuff and I ask a lot and a lot of people go, like, I can't, I don't have answers for every possible thing. And I certainly don't really need to get into all of it all the time, but it's just, again, we're definitely on a big roll. It's been a lot of good luck lately. Very ecstatic, very happy. Again, if we could maybe try to wrap up with Teddy Scare, at least.
Oh yeah, if you want to
talk way too much.
Yeah.
But back to Teddy Scare, because that's one of the bigger ones that are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And
it might still be available. I don't know if it ended or not, but when I had ordered I probably ordered it maybe 4 or 5 days ago, and I think it said there were 2 weeks left on it, so there might still be a week to get it. I'm not sure, possibly. I'll have to check that link, but if it is still available, I'll put that link
put it on the thing. You can. It's SRS Cinema. I think I saw it on oldies.com too, but I'm sure Best Buy and all those things will have it soon.
I got it off the Indiegogo. It was saying limited.
Okay, yeah, I know, but that's directly through Ron Block and SRS Cinema.
Oh, okay. So it's on the website too. Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah. If you go there, then you click to he attached that to his thing. Okay. I saw that and what you're talking about. So if you want to share that, I guess I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah.
But it'll be out soon enough, and definitely be online and Best Buys and Target and Vudu and Fandango and all those wonderful things that all of them are, and then eventually all the streams and all that. But again, this is Teddy Scare. It's being put out by SRS Cinema. Mark Polonia is the director. I'm the lead character. Jeff Kirkendall is the villain in it. Mike Herodes plays a lot of fun supporting roles in the film because he's often involved. Titus Himmelberger, Yoli Canales, a few others. I think there's a bunch of other people that did like
Polonia Pact adventure.
Yeah, but it's I mean, we have other ones that are coming out that has like Stalking. We'll talk about that for 2 seconds in a minute once I finish it. But there are films that have more of the Polonia Pals, but the core this is like this Teddy Scare was more of it's really like a one-man show of me, and I'm not bragging that, but that's kind of tailored. And the connection to it is, again, my involvement with the bear and some other creatures. So but Jeff definitely, Jeff is the villain character of the film, and then Mike Herodes, he often does a lot of these like quirky little side characters. Because he likes to trade character parts and stuff. So that's the core of this film. So it's really not it's like the core Polonia Pals then, if that's the case. But we definitely have other, the Polonia Pals spins off into other realms too over the years. So anywho, it should be coming out in the next few months on, once again, all these sites and different things. The trailer is out now on YouTube at SRS Cinema and all my stuff. You'll get a taste of some of the stuff I do in this film. And it's, again, I'm playing like this guy that's kind of he kind of like retorts to his childhood based on these traumatic events that go on. But it was an acting exercise for me. So if you're into Tim Hatch, not the whole or whatever, but Tim Hatch is an actor solely, and you're, and you want to see me challenge myself as an actor and really, really try some things, then this is for you. If you're really into Mark Polonia, you're not going to be disappointed either. There's been a few people that I think got a copy here, like Cody Tudor, I think, saw it, and Clint Beaver, and a bunch of other some of these other actors in the universe that I've got an early copy, and they've loved the film and said it was great. And so thank you to the batch of people that have reached out so far. And there's tons coming. There's tons and tons coming in the next year, and again, hopefully bigger, better, and huger, and crazier, and who knows what too after that. So that's it. And then what was in
Hop's got a couple of questions here.
Okay.
It says Indiegogos have pay to play roles. Do you
Mhm.
guys find that affects the films at all? I don't think Mark does that though, does he?
A little bit, a little bit. It's based on different rhymes and reasons, but no, it's not his. It's not his first and foremost thing. But it has been a part of some of the films. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a couple. There's one really well known group that does that, pay to play. That's pretty
Yeah,
well known out
yeah.
there.
I mean, again, this is all. It's show business. Sometimes you got to earn your thing. Like I had to do like 9 trillion free plays before I became a lead role. Some people have to pay $1,000. I mean, I don't know how this all works, but it's a mystery. But yes, that does occur in this business currently. Mark is, I don't think he's a big fan of it, but I don't want to get into his feelings and things with this stuff. He has done it a time or two, but it's part of some of the new lingo lately. I don't know if it's right or wrong or what, but yes, some of these actors, one way or another, have contributed to different things for some of these films. I'm not sure with regarding Teddy Scare per se or whatnot, but some of these films, a lot of the indie films now, definitely, they're popping up left and right. I mean, so it's not just us. I mean,
Yeah.
so a lot of people, this is some of this stuff. So it is what it is. It requires money to put chip or cards in the cameras and things too. Not every movie is just made for $3. I mean, somehow you got sometimes some of this
Really?
stuff comes from different angles.
I don't think you met Dustin Ferguson yet, have you?
No, I'm aware. Yes, I'm aware of Dustin, and I again, it is what it is. I don't.
Well,
I don't know what his
he can
connection
make
to
three.
that
He can
all
make
is
three
either.
movies out of. He can make 3 movies out of $3.
Yeah. I mean, it can. Again. Then God bless him, I guess. But I just meant generally speaking. There's a lot of. Again, these are political topics that I don't know. And like again, when somebody asks for $3,000 to make a film, and they get people that want a poster and all these things, it costs money. You go into Walmart. We all know this. You because you sometimes work there, right, Steve?
On occasion.
To get a printer nowadays is like $800. I mean, so everything costs. I mean, so. I know it's kind of looks weird with some of these asking people to budget movies and stuff, but it's kind of like a team player thing. I don't even know. There's so many ways to look at a lot of these things, and I know I think we're talking more regarding stuff with me as of late per se, but not really. I haven't been a part of any situation where I personally have seen where I saw one person that was making off like a real bandit off a project, because there's, wonders like, oh, well, why does it cost this and that? And the, so other than that, which is sometimes wondered, literally just to go to the market to get food for the 5 people on the set costs like $600. I mean, it has to sometimes come from these different quirky ways. And I don't know who come up with all that Kickstarter stuff and all that stuff. It wasn't me, but it's just, again, I don't know to all that, but I know, yes, there are some films that people have maybe paid $100 to do a voiceover or something, and they live in, Texas, and most of the films are shot in New York, I get that. I don't know what all that is, but it does occur.
Okay, so Hop wants to know if there's going to be any news on Amityville in Space 2.
Who asked that?
Hobbs.
Hop wants to know if there's
we're working on all that stuff. We definitely have more. We in all the worlds that I'm in, give or take, there are definitely more Amityville films either currently in the works or yet to come or planning stages. But again, still, we don't want to, this Amityville thing is, it's fun and you could go on forever with it. I also don't want it to get burnt out or get, like at some point get like, oh, we're tired of this so much, So it's because everybody else is doing a lot of these, as soon as one thing, and I'm not going to make fun of or get into all this, but we know this and we do it a little bit too. But the trends, it just eventually wears its course, and so it can only go on for so long, some of these things. But the Amityville is more like just like it could be like Amityville Presents. I mean, it's just about like this, not just the house, but just the area or just possessed stuff in general. So, I mean, it could go on forever, but yeah, we definitely are working on an Amityville in Space 2 at some point, no question. And we're working on spin-offs and other things and other projects that have connected in, and definitely more Father Bena stuff possibly. And yeah, more of all that stuff is coming one way or another. And I think in other worlds that I'm involved in too that have Amityville genres, I think we've got a few more in the works too. So there's a lot of them coming. So where were we again? So yes, Amityville in Space 2 definitely at some point soon.
Well, now someone said Amityville Crow.
Crow? That sounds pretty good.
That's what I said. I said
minus the scare.
Isn't that already out?
Amityville
I thought there was something like that with a crow or something. Like that.
Scarecrow. Hey,
oh yeah, okay. Yes, right.
Amityville Crow versus Amity Scarecrow. Going at it there.
Right, that's right. But I meant like the regular crow, like the bird crow. But yeah, I mean, yeah, any of that is possible. That in those Amityville, those movies did well too, and so
I think take the green Kia. I think take the stock footage of the green Kia and convert it into a space shuttle, and they have to go rescue you up there at Amityville.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, yeah,
in the shuttle.
Certainly, yeah. Well, let's talk for. All right, I know. I told you, Steve, I was only going to be, and I have no problem. And then I said, "Oh, I'll be out for 3 hours."
I think we're going to wrap it
we're
up.
definitely going. We're going the distance, like the song, right? So, anyways, well, two more things. Well, let's talk about Yule Log for a second because that needs to be talked about. And then I want to at least talk about stalking generically because you were involved and that's your, we got to work together. And, it's been a while since we talked about that. Remember, it was all talk coming, so we should talk about that. But before that, I want that to be
yes, Yule Log. That's right. We haven't brought that one up, but that's another good one. Yule Log. Yeah.
Yeah. Yule Log. Yule Log was shot like a little bit over under a year ago. Another film again that it's like I've been saying, it's another one of these movies that kind of it's a little different, it's a little not a tip. I mean, but Yule Log has come out for a few months now. Most people have said it's one of Mark's best movies. It's great. You guys did a great job. It's definitely again that core Polonia pal at its best, really seeing things that you didn't see before, or people trying new things, or it's got like connections to other big movies in a way. But Yule Log is on Tubi, Voodoo Prime, a bunch of all those things, and it's you can buy it too physically. All the places like Best Buy or srscinema.com. But yeah, Yule Log, Jeff Kirkendall does a great job. Michael Karotish does a great job. Jamie Morgan does a wonderful job. There's a few other odds and ends. I think a lot of people doing voiceovers and stuff too, like Erica Dyer and I think Lena Harper, and a few others. But anyways, so I just try to remember everybody who's in it, huh?
Will Yule Log have a Christmas theme to it? Will it have Christmas music in it?
Yeah, it sort of has it in it, but it's not a direct. It's not a Christmas. I mean, it's one of the closer Christmas ones of Mark's, and he's done a few of them. But it's not a Christmas movie. I don't. It's more like a witchcraft movie and stuff. So you can watch it anytime. I mean, with the Yule Log title and it definitely seems like a holiday film, but it's not. It's just a good independent. I mean, it's a hell of a film again for an independent, low budget. No, again, getting into that film, and it's again, people have reached out. They've really enjoyed it. They thought it was tremendous. I felt that it was going to be that way certainly after it, or after I saw one of the rough cuts. We have been, this team, we keep trying things and keep succeeding with them. But it's definitely worth a watch. I push it as much as I can. And people have enjoyed it or said, wow, that was very different, or I liked how Jeff was this way, or I liked how, it's really good. It's like a lot of Mark's movies, your ass ain't going to fall asleep. I mean, you just get in there, you watch it, boom, that was good. Or, and we shot it in this campground thing. And it was just great. It was a lot of fun to do. Everybody had a good time. We were, our usual routine. It's been out for a few months. And nobody's really asked for a sequel of that yet, but they really, they felt that it was, good on its own terms. So that's it, I think, on that. But yeah, if anybody ever wants to talk to me about any of these projects, I'm on Facebook and Google me. I mean, like, I'm out in the world. If anybody wants to discuss,
I'm here
anytime. Right, exactly. So,
and anyone who hasn't joined the Polonia group too on Facebook, there's a Polonia group on Facebook too.
Yes,
so.
Polonia Nights.
Oh, okay.
And that'll give you a lot of this stuff.
Is it called Polonia Pal Group?
It's Poloniacs Unite.
Yeah, Polonia.
Yep.
Okay.
Poloniacs Unite. Yep. So yeah, I mean, if you don't get us any other which way, but yeah, then you can go there too.
Yes, we're taking over Facebook.
So you liked working on Stalking, right, Steve? It was fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely good time. Yeah.
Yep. A lot of people
finally coming out and meeting you guys and working with you, and hopefully again,
it was fun.
I'm available whenever,
Yeah.
I'll be there.
I know. I've seen you do it. Yeah, no, it was a hoot. You did a great job. Film is slowly on its way into the world.
So
I don't know all the details, but it is slowly, definitely coming very, very soon. It's like slow and very fast at the same time, but it is coming out soon.
Yeah.
It's going the same route as many, and so I don't want to get into all those things because I'm not, it's not directly my info, but it is definitely soon coming out to the world. So you get to see Steven in a pretty significant role and
smart guy role.
No, you're definitely you had to be really good. I mean, to coming out, you really, I mean, you had a pretty good go there in that film, and everybody else did a great job. It is an expansive Polonia Pals type of film, which we often do at times, and but it is, it's definitely making its route and.
Had quite a few new people too joining.
They come and go, and some stick around, and we change it up, but it was a hoot, and some people come out of it done really well. You guys, some of you have moved quick and into different things, and it's and I was very impressed with a lot of some of the newer faces, and really, and we need that. It keeps it fresh, it keeps us going, and some of the mix of it's like the new Ghostbusters movie, some of the old G and the new, and it's a mixture of things, and that film definitely had that, and there's a few more in the pikes. We've got a few more coming that are similar, and it's like every month we're cranking out something or working on something. So you're going to see a lot of this
stalking
stuff.
Too, still stalking. No,
I think somebody was talking about doing another one. So we try to fit it all in. We try to cross all our T's and dots our I's, and what else let's see. So I think that was probably one of the last of the Kia's movies, right?
I believe so. Unless
give or take
after I left, unless there was anything, but I think probably one of the last ones. Yeah.
Yep. So, and
I'm so glad I got to see it before it left.
That's right. Yeah.
It needs its own Internet Movie Database page.
It does.
It does. It really does.
It needs its own.
I think I liked its performance in Yule Log the most.
Yeah,
it's an intricate part of the
film. I don't know. It was pretty emotional watching it in Doll Shark. It had a lot of screen time in Doll Shark.
Yeah, there's been a few where it does. It's certainly been a part of the story to a degree. But
Yeah, I don't know. It was a little stiff in that episode. I didn't get the feel.
It was green, little green.
Too green. Yeah, it
Oh,
was
yeah.
sick. It was sick that day.
See.
It was a little hard to start. It refused to work that day.
Mhm.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, had to call his agent.
Yep. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, it was a good time. I'm really looking forward to people seeing it. And I wonder how the Japanese will like plants. They like their sharks. I wonder
Yeah,
how they-
well, we've got a few of them too. We got a
So,
few of them work. Some
Well,
of
if
them
you
plant
go down-
movies. The plant movies are doing well too, so we may have a new category for a
Man,
while.
that'd be awesome if it ended up in Fangoria.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome if it
Mhm.
ended up in one of those magazines. So it should be interesting, and so we'll see.
Yeah, another. So I'm gonna blurt out like a bunch of names just to kind of keep some stuff of other things I'm up to, just to put stuff out there. Jeff's stuff, like his film, one of his early films, Terror the Master.
Oh
is
yeah, that's
now currently through SRS Cinema. It'll probably be on Tubi and all that very soon. That's doing very well. I'm in it. It's a little bit ago. Halloween Horror Tales, which has been over and over and over and out and out and about. That's still going very strong. That is a film that we made a little bit ago, and I was like, "Oh, this movie, I don't know where it's going and whatever." And it's become a cult favorite.
Yep.
It's been inspiring to me to see Halloween Horror Tales do amazing. It's just done amazing things that I would have never guessed. And so that's another big one. That's on Tubi and Prime and on all these things too. Some other things to look out for is this filmmaker Joe Bignardi, who I've talked about many times. He's another buddy of mine. His films include Shadow Tracker, Project D. They're all on Tubi, Plex, and all these, all the streamers. We're finishing up a film called Kaleidoscope, which will be out sometime later this year. He's a good guy. He's got a lot of projects. He's been a part of Horror Tales as well. Also, some other people like to mention some other projects. Blaze and Cody Tudor are always working on stuff. And I'm trying to think who else. Working on some stuff with who else? Some other some things in the works that are potential spin-offs of things and stuff. And who else? What else? I think that's it. I think there's a few others, but but always check my IMDb out and check out all my things and all these other, everything is all out there. So
There's Amity Bigfoot.
Amityville Bigfoot? What? Yeah, there is. Yeah, SRS Cinema put that out.
There is an Amityville Bigfoot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. And then Amityville Death Toilet.
In a backpack too.
$20. $20.
Oh yeah, Amityville Backpack. I heard they're making. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's coming out very shortly. It looked pretty good. I thought it was pretty interesting. It got good press too. It was. I think Fangoria did an article on it too. I'm like, really?
It's like I need to do another Amityville movie.
Such a broad spectrum of genre. But yeah, it's all these things they're all doing really well. I honestly am very excited to see. I obviously am certainly about my own stuff, but I really do enjoy seeing everybody else from all walks of life or all stages of the film worlds, not just Hollywood or India or the whole scene. Mm-hmm. I like to see all these people doing. There's been a lot of people doing very, very well. There's a lot of, really surprised. Some people from even my own neck of the woods that I like, wow, I didn't realize you were doing stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of potential, a lot of again, and we've talked about this over the years, you and I, but yeah, there's a lot of people doing really well. I've been really surprised to see it. It's because sometimes, things are quiet for a while, and then all of a sudden, like everybody's like doing really, I'm like, wow, geez, I guess it's in the air.
It's our time.
I guess. But yeah, I'm talking like people that you may not even like. I'm talking like, I'm not going to get into it, but like, other, some of the things that we don't really touch base on, and some people have mixed thoughts on all this stuff. But, I'm saying, I don't know. I'm trying to think of things. Well, I'll mention just one last little quirky thing. I thought I was going to start the show off with it, but I guess I'll end it with at least my part. I saw today, and I reached out to him real quick, a little bit earlier. Well, I was going to ask you too. Are you doing something with MegaCon?
Oh, it happened this weekend already. Yeah, I didn't go. So.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah, you often do that.
Yeah, not this one though, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so where I'm sure I was stumbling on YouTube a little while ago, and I was watching one of the guys was at MegaCon, and he of course was talking with our buddy Rick Stasinski.
Yeah,
which you've met, and I
know
done many films with him way in the back in the past, and we still keep in touch, and obviously he's still he did have that breakout thing with Terrifier 2 and the selfie guy, and so it's always that's been a part of a lot of things too, and I knew probably 5 or 6 people from that whole crew there too. That did very well, but it was last year, and we'll see what where the next ones take them and all that stuff too. So that's been exciting and interesting. But Rick, he's still hanging in there and still doing his thing, and
he does some awesome masks too. His
tremendous. Yeah, he's very talented.
One of these days, I gotta have him come on. We've talked about. He's like, one of these.
Yeah, I thought oddly before. It might even before Terrifier 2 took off, I was almost going to tell you or something to reach out. I don't know why. I just had a weird I don't know. But then eventually it did, and you saw him many times in person, and then and you knew that we all knew each other, but I saw him. He was on one of the YouTube things doing the current tour thing there, so it's always good to see all these guys, all these familiar faces, and where they're all going, and it's definitely fun.
Hopefully soon I'll be hitting some vendors table as a vendor.
So you said that. I know everybody's toying or baby stepping with all that stuff, or trying things with that and doing that. And Jeff and I have done stuff like that in the past. I think Mark's done some of that a little bit here and there too. So so that's great. Yeah, I'm sure we'll all try it again and get involved in different ways when we can. And
even if I don't vendor, I still enjoy going to them. Whatever.
Oh yeah, it's always a blast. All those events.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if cons and filming a couple of things. Also, I'm not sure what the next convention is. I want to go to Spookala. Melissa Barrera is going to be there who got fired from Scream 7. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Great.
What was that, Patrick?
Spookala, drink.
Oh yeah, that was a fun night. I had a fireball, and every time we said Spookala, I would scream. We were drinking it. It was almost a full bottle, and by the time the end of the cast, I was
you were hammered.
Doomsday on, and it was almost to the bottom of it. and I remember everything. I remembered all our conversations and stuff, and I said stuff, and he was all like, "You remember all that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And what was really weird was everything looked normal, but when I was looking at him, it almost looked like his cartoon with the third eye, and his face was kind of blurred up. Everything else was fine, but just him looked like the artwork, which was really weird. And I told him, and he thought that was funny. And the next day he was like, "Dude, you know what you said?" I'm like, "Yes, I know what I said. Everything was fine, but and he's like, "You remember that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I drink a lot of water too, and I only drink at conventions. I'm not a daily drinker or anything, but it was fun though. Good times. But anyway, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Our 45. It's been a 45-minute show
extension,
plus an
extended 150th episode, an extra 2 hours past it.
So but what's right, actually, though, one last quick thing. Patrick was telling me that this is actually the 150th show because the first episode we did, I was having StreamYard issues, so it was on his channel. So in a way, this is the 150th.
It was meant to be.
All right, and I gotta get up at 5 for work. So thanks for Hobbs.
And I gotta make 9 movies before 9 a.m. So
Yeah, of course. You're like, hey, I gotta go. I wish I could say that.
Right now, well, you could if you wanted to.
So, hey,
Yeah.
go
All
ahead.
right,
Whenever
that's
you want
all
to be
good.
out there, I'll be out there. Whatever. So,
All right.
so we'll talk. Later off that.
Yeah.
But all right, everybody in the chat, Hobbs, Killable, Val was in here. My mom was in here. Anyone who was watching and didn't say anything, thank you, and everybody watching the replay. And next week is Michael. I forget how to say his last name, but not from Bad CGI Gator, Michael Bonini, I guess. Bonini. If I'm saying his name wrong, I apologize. But you know how I am with names sometimes. Whoops. But I'll get it correct.
Don't forget next Friday. I'll be joined by Hobbs Horror on my channel for our interview with Cord Nemec.
I might sneak on that too. I might hijack that. I got to say hi too.
Very nice.
I'll somehow hijack into that. Hey, the stand was great.
Yeah, just slide Hobbs some treats and then take a spot.
Yeah. So, all right. Thanks again, and everybody check all that stuff out, and see you next week. Bye.
Good night.